What is the most boring hobby a person can have? Using magic erasers to clean grunge and dirt off of anything and everything. Hand me a pack of them and I will have the entire house looking like it was just built. I literally don't stop until either I run out of erasers, or if I'm told to take a break. My boyfriend said he watched me for hours straight scrub our railing on our stairs and couldn't understand how I wasn't bored by 10 minutes in. I didn't even know that much time had passed. I collect dust. Reading obituaries in order to cross out the names in the phone book. Involuntary collections. My grandmother had a bunch of white porcelain cats when I grew up. Later I found out the only reason she had them was because people kept giving them to her thinking she collected them. She just didn't want to be rude. My dad likes to sit in the garage for hours on end in a lawn chair, drink beer, and watch traffic go by. Boring as shit, but he's zen as fuck. Sometimes I stare at my guinea pig and attempt to predict when she will yawn. Audiences are profoundly bored by this. I see you, Colin Robinson. Having a hobby that you might think you like but you're only doing it to impress someone. Having no hobbies is the worst. Hobbies make people interesting. Fantasy curling. My parents both read the newspaper for -5 hours a day. And then discuss the articles they've read with each other. They're very happy doing this, and I'm glad they have this common interest. But for me, phew, that'd be a tough one to get into. I collect mold, spores, and fungus. Calling the police repeatedly for no good reason. There is someone in the neighborhood who absolutely enjoys calling the police for no reason. One that doesn't make them happy. Would mine count? Fishing, but in Stardew Valley. That's how I unwind after work, and after my husband and son have gone to bed. What's the best answer to being called ugly? Classic Cyrano de Bergerac, I give you this to work with, and that's the best insult you can come up with. It might be here, but edg. Hopefully that's all we have in common. I've been called worse things from better people. And even I wouldn't fuck you. I once had a guy tell me that he would find me attractive if I wasn't fat. I basically went whew. Good thing I'm fat. If I had $1 for every time someone called me ugly, you'd think I was handsome. Edit, I stole this from one of the top comments on an ABBA and Preach video, *on Heidism. They may have taken it from somewhere too, but credit to YouTube user billygoat. I've got a face only a mother would love, and your mother loves me very much. Thanks, it's a relief to know that someone like you doesn't find me attractive. Just go and look at them all confused as if they just pointed out something irrelevant about you, like the color of your hair. People really break when you give them an anticlimactic reaction. Thanks, you too. Agreeing. It always works. My friend told me his response from high school. He was being called fat, but I think it still applies well. Girl, you're fat. Friend, looks down at his belly weight, what? I'm fat? What? Oh my god. I'm fat. Turns to other people, hey guys. Did you know I'm fat? This girl just told me. I had no idea. End number X200B. She just walked away. Thanks, I was trying to look like you today. Learned that from a 6-year-old girl, lol, smiley face. Aggressive fart. So what? Flat, emotionless, and dismissive. They want a reaction from you, deny them that. Who's the most unexpected person you had sex with? While on the men's rowing team at college, I hooked up with the women's coach for a while. Didn't really see that happening. I've got two that were very unexpected to me. I was about 19/20 and was dating a girl for about a year, and she just finished 2 years of community college and decided to go to University of Hawaii. She went to visit to see if she would even like it, and I ended up finding out she cheated on me, and one of the main reasons why she chose Hawaii was to be with this other guy. I ended up breaking up with her when she got back, and I got a call from her best friend saying, hey, I know you and blank broke up, do you want to come over and talk to clear your head? So I took her up, and she lived literally around the corner from my ex's parents. It was just a talk. I said, well, it's getting late, so I better head off. I get in my car and get a call immediately saying, hey, you forgot something, and I didn't forget anything. It was just a ploy for me to have sex with her. She ended up saying she didn't really like her so-called best friend / my ex. This ended up going on nearly every day for about a year. She ended up moving away a few states over unfortunately. My second unexpected one was that I moved to Europe when I was 22-23. After about a year of being here, a friend came and visited. We did a little European tour, and one of our stops was Oktoberfest. We spent most of the day drinking. He ended up drinking too much, so I took him back to our Airbnb and the people we were with told me to come back, so I done so. I have no idea how I managed to do so, but this beautiful German girl and I tried communicating as I only speak English and she was only able to speak German, and very broken English. The night is ending, I say my goodbyes and her friends ask if I can walk her home as it's on the way to my Airbnb just to make sure she gets home safe. I am using a lot of Google Translate, we are laughing, end up getting some food, we get to her flat and she opens the door and says come in for one last drink, so I do so. We weren't really talking coherently, but were seeming to just enjoy each other's company. She goes to the bathroom, comes back out naked and we end up having sex a few times, falling asleep. My friend is due to leave back to the US later that evening and my flight was a few hours after him. The German girl and I exchange numbers, thinking I'd never see her again. I say my goodbyes to my friend and send him his way to the airport. I give this girl a text with Google Translate basically saying I really enjoyed spending time with you, our time together was short but enjoyable. She asks if I can come back over, so I decide to not go get my flight as I felt like I was in love. I end up staying with her for 2 more days. Tons of sex and laughing, also trying to understand one another. I can honestly say it's probably one of the best times of my life. We parted ways, we still keep in contact every so often, she is fluent in English now, and we've seen each other a few times. We are both recently single again, and plan on seeing each other in October time. My second shift supervisor, I was first shift supervisor. I don't know how it even happened. We worked at a notorious building, I guess you could say, we did security. The building was always empty, for its size, there wasn't too many people and we had the keys to go anywhere. We did it on the roof with a city view, in the office bathroom, in a huge storage room, in our boss's office. The craziest part is I really never saw it coming. He was a sneaky one. He really buttered me up and gained my trust before even busting a move at all. What started off as a rooftop fuck turned into insatiable lust that I'll honestly remember for the rest of my life. On Halloween I dressed as a girl from the original Star Trek. I had sex with a random guy dressed as Spock. Still a high point of mine. 44-year-old woman from NC. Best sex I ever had. Everything else after felt like cheap, no brand snacks after a few times with her. Edit. Forgot to say I was 23 at the time. Coworker at summer camp, I liked her a lot but I was too afraid to make a move. A bunch of us went to a friend/coworker's place for the weekend and on Saturday night she walked in and laid down next to me on the air mattress. Me, being clueless, was like hey, and she just sits up, straddles me and starts kissing me. It went from there and it was fun. I'm a heavy dude though and at some point the air mattress cap popped off and it deflated. Took me a minute to realize that I was just laying on the floor. She went to the bathroom to clean up and I got the air pump to reinflate the mattress. And I guess everyone else heard, uneasy face. My wife, the other day, was 95% sure we were just going to go to sleep. The camp counselor I had a crush on when I was 11. I ended up running into her when I was 18. Didn't know it was her until we got to pillow talk. Best surprise ever. I went on a cruise to the Caribbean by myself when I was 25. I met a recently divorced 42-year-old mom of 3 the last night of the cruise also by herself. We stayed up the entire night the last night in my room. She skipped her flight the next day and I drove her to Atlanta where she lived, from the port of Miami. We got a hotel downtown and fucked all night. I took her to her car at the Atlanta airport the next morning and will never see her again. We called last call at the bar I worked at and this one older woman I'd thrown a flirt at took my hand and asked if there was somewhere we could make out. We went into the alley out back and just went to town. What made it unexpected was I had jokingly said to my friend earlier before work that I wanted to bang a MILF. Pastor's daughter. I was 19, she was 22, and we ran the youth camp together. As soon as the kids were asleep we got biblical. God, she was hot. I've had sex with one guy my whole life but I'm here eating up these stories. I guess one of my teachers after I graduated, or one woman who I would clash with all the time that I knew from work. My female boss during my summer job at a coffee shop. Deleted.